It just takes your breath away to see this and to know that mothers and dads drop their children off at school on Monday morning, anticipating that they would go pick them up that afternoon, and then to know that a storm was bearing down in this neighborhood and wondering if your child was safe. We do know that some parents did get to the school to pick up their children. We know the teachers did the very best that they could. They followed procedures with their emergency drills to get them into the different locations in the building itself. But it just is heartbreaking to know that there were parents that didn't know if their children were still alive, if their loved ones that worked here at the school were alive, and to have to come upon this site. And I heard some stories of some school children that did survive. I don't know if it was this side or another side, but they called their parents with cell phones, and they were just sitting out in the debris waiting for someone to come get them. It's really heartbreaking. They're heroes. Our first responders are heroes. There were people here immediately on all the different sites throughout the community, just coming out of the neighborhoods, coming off the streets, walking and running from blocks on in to get to facilities like this, digging through the debris. Last night when we were here late, they had probably well over 100 people in this site throughout the homes and certainly here. And they had buckets and they were going down a line, digging by hand out the debris and moving it hand by hand. There were a lot of saws that were sawing through the metal, and sparks were flying in the dark, in the night. And it certainly was very tough conditions that the first responders and firefighters and emergency personnel were working. One of the things that I noticed on the other side was there were a lot of gurneys laying out on the side, waiting to see if anyone would come out of the rubble. A lot of Red Cross people, emergency personnel, doctors, anesthesiologists, that were at different sites waiting to see if there were any survivors that were standing by to help. It was really moving to see the people that came out to help, that were willing to do whatever it took to try to help your neighbors. It's a lot of effort. Made you feel good about people, good about humanity. We do know that our weathermen gave us an early on forecast around Friday and Saturday that we would have conditions that would be ripe for severe storms, and they were right. They did hit Sunday when the tornadoes first started, certainly Monday, and today we've had some severe weather. So we had stood up our emergency operations in the state over the weekend. We were ready, and of course our weathermen did a great job of telling people exactly where the tornado was. I was sitting at the Capitol watching the tornado come out of the clouds and hit more, watching it follow up I-35 and coming up on these neighborhoods, and able to see it in real time. And I was able to call the National Guard or Adjutant General and tell him, be prepared. We need to have all boots on the ground. We need to have rescue teams. We need to have the dogs to be able to come out and help do search and rescue for our citizens. And certainly our Highway Patrol was right on the mark, along with all the local fire and police and first responders that were here on the site immediately.
Well, again, our job is to support. The primary response is always local officials in the state. Our job is federal government. This is a shared responsibility. And I think here you're seeing best what typifies everybody helping each other, neighbors helping neighbors, your volunteers, your first responders, state government, and our job is to support that. So, we're here to support the governor's team, and unfortunately it's the tragedy of the loss of life, but it's also what you see happens every day in America. Communities pull together. We deal with our tragedies, we rebuild, we recover, and our job is to support that process.